Hello BookTube. Today I'm going to be doing the Stranger Things book tag. This book tag was created by Brad Proctor, and I saw it on Fiber Arts' channel, and I will have links to both videos in the show notes down below. For those of you who don't know, Stranger Things is an American television program produced by Netflix. It's currently in its 4th season, and its next 5th season will be its last. I've seen the first season, or I watched the first season a few years ago, but probably shortly after it first came out, but haven't seen subsequent seasons. I need to kind of rewatch the first season and get back to the rest of the season. I remember rather liking it, not necessarily loving it, but maybe a rewatch will improve things. Anyway, this tag sounds to be a lot of fun, so let's get going. Prompt number 1, the Upside Down. An alternate dimension that exists in parallel to our own world, inhabited by deadly predators. Name a fantasy, sci-fi, horror, dystopian world you would not want to get stuck in. For this, I'm going to go with the setting or settings of Cameron Hurley's The Worldbreaker Saga. This is the first volume, The Mirror Empire. From what I remember of The Mirror Empire, the world is incredibly brutal. Dismemberments, monsters everywhere, brutal cultures, slavery, assault, abuse. It's a really dark, brutal, grim world. Really grimdark. And I really would not want to be caught in any of those worlds. And it's especially terrifying because since the setting allows for travel between worlds, that you could end up finding yourself in this world a lot more easily than in some. So definitely not a world you would want to go to. Next prompt. Prompt number 2, Hellfire Club. An unpopular and misunderstood group of nerds who are more than what they seem at first glance. Name a book that you think more people would enjoy if only they'd give it a chance. For this, I'm going to go with Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic by Shinobu Otaka. This is a manga series inspired by the Middle East and the 1001 Nights. It's about a young wizard or young magi named Aladdin who travels around his world looking for friends. One day he finds one named Alibaba, and they go on adventures. I really enjoyed this series, and I wish it were more popular, if for no other reason than so there would be a lot more volumes available. I've been collecting the series since late last year, and I found myself stymied for a while trying to find volume number 8. I finally found it in June, but I'm pretty much the volumes immediately following volume 8 are going to be about as difficult to find, and I kind of would like to more copies available. So definitely Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic for this one. Prompt number 3, Dungeons and Dragons. The Hellfire Club is ready to take on Vecna and his minions in the climactic final battle of Dungeon Master Eddie Munson's campaign. Name a book series that you would like to see adapted into a game. Board game, tabletop RPG, video game, etc. For this, I'm going to go with the new Corbusier novels by China Mieville. I would love to see like an open sandbox video game set in the world of New Corbusier, whether or not it's a direct adaptation of any of the games or like an original story set in that world, or even a sort of an open-ended sort of story type thing. I would just love to see that. Absolutely. Prompt number 4, Worlds Apart. 11, Mike, Dustin, Hopper, and the rest of the gang are spread across the globe. It's never a good idea to split the party, especially in a boss fight. Name a favorite bookish group of unlikely heroes. For this, I'm going to go with the Heroes of Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle by Clamp. And Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle is Clamp's big crossover portal fantasy series. It's about a young archaeologist named Sioran Lee who's in love with Princess Sakura. One day, Princess Sakura is attacked and grievously wounded, and parts of her memory, her soul, is spread across various realities. To save Sakura, Sioran is sent to the space-time witch, and the space-time witch basically has 2 other people there with her. Kuragane, ninja from form of feudal Japan, and Fady Flowerite, a wizard. And basically they are sort of joined together to collect Princess Sakura's feathers, and alongside Makona, being that can traverse worlds. And it's so amazing watching these 5 characters who are so different slowly forming a family as they travel across various realities. It's an amazing story and an amazing group of heroes. So just love it. Prompt number 5, Pineapple Pie. Argyle recommends you slap some juicy pineapple on your pie. Oh, fruit on pizza is gnarly, you say? I'm thinking in the 80s, gnarly was more negative than it is now. But anyway. Well, Argyle says, try before you deny. Name a book that you weren't sure you'd like, but are glad you decided to read anyway. For this, I'm going to go with nonfiction. And that is Unsettled Land, From Revolution to Republic, The Struggle for Texas by Sam W. Haynes. This is a history of Texas in the early to mid 19th century, from the Anglo-American colonization of Texas to, as well as a Native American colonization of Texas, to increasing tensions with Mexico, and also increasing tensions within Mexico, to the Texas Revolution, the years of the Texas Republic, Texas annexation, and up to the Mexican-American War. I had a go at this book in, was it June? I think it was June. I had a go at it, and I didn't quite get on with it. I thought the introduction was not very good. That plus the first few chapters didn't really appeal to me, but a few weeks later I came back to it and read it again and thought it was quite good. So I rather enjoyed my sort of bill redemption of this. So I'll go with Unsettled Land to answer this prompt. Prompt number 6, Vecna. Using telepathic abilities, Vecna is able to delve into one's mind, exposing their hidden guilt. Name a favorite fictional book villain with cool otherworldly supernatural abilities. For this, I'm going to go with Acnologia from Fairy Tale. This dragon right here is Acnologia. Acnologia is an incredibly powerful dragon who is essentially the dragon of everything. So in the fairy tale setting, which is by Hiro Mishima, is an adventure series featuring a team of wizards from the Fairy Tale Wizarding Guild. The dragons in this world are of specific types. So a fire dragon breathes fire, he's or she's immune to fire, that sort of thing. And a fire dragon slayer is a wizard who's able to incorporate the specific type of element they're the dragon slayer of. So say Natsu is a fire dragon slayer, so he can eat fire, he can use fire in his magic. Well, the thing with Acnologia is that he's basically the dragon of everything. Like all elements, all magic are basically his. So it's incredibly hard to fight him. And that presents a problem when Acnologia finally becomes the ultimate final antagonist of the entire series. Prompt number 7, Running Up That Hill. Kate Bush's 1985 song, Running Up That Hill, plays nonstop on Max Mayfield's Walkman during season 4 of Stranger Things and has risen up the charts since the season debuted. Name a genre, subgenre, or trope that you would like to see gain popularity. So for this, I'm going to go with Bronze Age history. The Bronze Age is one of my favorite periods of history, and I wish there were more books written on the period, especially more recently. It seems the Bronze Age doesn't really get a whole lot of book coverage or like history written about it. So I'll go with Histories of the Bronze Age. And finally, prompt number 8, 4 chimes. Not everyone is fortunate enough to survive encounters with denizens from the Upside Down. Name a fictional book character whose death absolutely broke you. For this, I'm going to go with Mitsuba from Chalaban Hanaka-kun Volume 4. I'll talk a bit more about this in Weekly Reads because I read this on yesterday. But the last 3 chapters in Chalaban Hanaka-kun Volume 4, which is called Mitsuba, which it deals with the protagonist, the third protagonist, Ko, who's this young man here, encountering the ghost of a classmate who died relatively recently, who's begun to haunt the school, and it's the story of their budding friendship, which, depending on how sensitive you are, could potentially be a bit more than just friendship. And then Tsukasa happens, and it is just, it's brutal and heartrending. And absolutely, it's just one of the reasons why Chalaban Hanaka-kun is one of my favorite manga so far. And I'm looking forward to reading much more of it. So, yeah. Anywho, BookTube, that was the Stranger Things book tag. If you'd like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged. If I'm seeming a bit rushed in this video, I do have a bit of a time constraint today, so I wanted to get this video out and film it as quickly as I could and upload it before I go and watch the 4 Children of the Apocalypse later on today. So anyway, I think my mission should be accomplished. But anyway, BookTube, I will see you tomorrow with another video for Tag Tuesday, and it might be as equally rushed because I'm going to be watching the 4 Children of the Apocalypse again tomorrow. But anyway, so thank you, BookTube. Have a great afternoon, and I will see you tomorrow. So until then, thank you, and stay safe.